Hello guys, it's your boy Bryce coming up to you again with another video. I'm a streamer on Twitch. You can follow me at Twitch TV/Brice Be Nice. And yeah, I'm always willing to help anybody new, or like showcase some stuff, teach people about the game. Been playing this game since day one. I know a lot about it. And today I want to share to you my three-man Banshee team. I want to take this opportunity to share my team because the upcoming banners is an opportunity for people to copy what I'm already doing in the game from playing for this long. And the units that will be coming is Vivian, which will be coming next week as the creation of this video, and Baiken during the coming GG collab event rerun. So why not showcase it, right? Spread the wealth. So first, let's start off with how the team works. So let's start off with Free Spirit Tieria. Free Spirit Tieria's new AI basically allows her to be the perfect unit for this mode because what she does is that she AoEs the first wave, chunks a little bit of HP, and then Vivian follows up with an attack buff, and then with her exclusive artifact, she can then one-shot. On the second wave, Free Spirit Tieria will defense break, as you can see right now, and then Vivian chunks a little bit of HP. This will be followed up by Baiken's very amazing kit, where she attacks twice, so she can proc Daydream Joker twice, and basically just kill the boss. Just like that. Don't even need the bleed explosion. Right? Very awesome. You can do that with a fodder, or just without a fodder if you just want really fast runs. But ideally, you would want to run a fodder, free stuff, free XP, etc. Now let's move on to the stats. For the stats, let's start off with Free Spirit Tieria and anybody that you can substitute her with. So Free Spirit Tieria, I think the most important thing for her is her effectiveness. Now 130 effect on Tieria, this is a little bit overkill right here, 130. You just need probably 85 to 100. That's a very comfortable amount. And the next most important stat for her is her speed. The speed needs to be at least 200 to make it what they call that, comfortable with the timings, and she always has to be faster than your Vivian. The reason for this is that you would want her to defense break at the boss stage so that you have the defense break applied, and Vivian does a little bit more damage than she should be if she were to go first. If she goes after Tieria, the defense break obviously is there, and then you do more damage, the less your Baiken has to do. So speed tuning here, somewhat very important. Makes the burden of gearing so much more easier. Like, I cannot emphasize this enough. So at least 200 speed, and after 200 speed, the next priority is that you need to be 10 speed, or at least a little bit more, to really lessen the RNG, because you get a random amount of CR as you enter into a fight, and the more speed you have on her above Vivian, more than 10, the safer it is. The crit chance, crit damage, attack, they're very secondary, but the higher you get these amount, the less attack you need on Vivian, the less attack, crit damage you need on Baiken, etc. So the more attack you have on your Free Spirit Tieria, if you want to, she's a really good unit to 6-star. You can do that too. If she's 6-star, she does more damage, etc. She's a free unit. You don't have to mola her at all. And yeah, she's pretty cool. A substitute unit you can use if you don't want to use her is Leo. Now the advantages of Leo. He's an archer. Oh, sorry, he's a ranger. You can put Song of the Stars, which artifact I don't really currently have, to put target, which will also lessen the DPS requirement. And his kit pretty much functions the same. He AoEs first turn, and then he defense breaks the second turn. So by the time his second turn is about to be up, Vivian has one-shot the first wave, and instead uses it on the second wave for the boss. And since it's a single target, and he's a ranger, he can play target as well, which is also another damage increase debuff. And the same thing applies with the stat prioritization. You need to be faster than your Vivian. You need to have enough effectiveness to secure your debuffs, and any more damage you get just makes Baiken and Vivian's job a lot easier. Now, let's go to Vivian. This is my Vivian. As you can see, she's a lot less slower than my Tieria. I speed tuned them that way. That way they can function together perfectly. Ideally, I would want to make her a little bit more slower, but I just couldn't find the gear because these are all my leftover gears. And this is the exact amount of stats I needed to be able to one-shot the first wave exactly, with less than 100 damage difference or something from their max health. So do note that I really didn't want a 6-star at my Tieria, Free Spirit Tieria, so I moled her a little bit, because I do plan to use her someday, and that's why her S2 is moled. You can go all the way if you don't have the gear level that where I'm at, but I think this is pretty much manageable. Just need to pump up your crit damage a little bit more. Ideally, you would probably want less attack for more crit damage in this situation. And you don't really need, if you're just going to use Vivian for farming Banshee, you don't need 91. You don't need any crit above 85. Every monster in that hunt is water, and you get 15% more crit chance when you're attacking an element that's weaker than the element you're using. So for Earth, you're stronger against water, so you get 15% more crit chance. If you're fire, you get 15% more crit chance against Earth, etc. For artifacts, I use Dignos Orb on her, but a lot of different artifacts work. You can use Exorcism Tonfa, which increases your damage by, I believe, 16% at plus 30 if they're above 50% health. Another substitute you could use is obviously the Symbol of Unity, but this is probably better on somebody else, ideally PvP related. Another one you can use, and which is slightly stronger than Tonfa, which also comes the same time as Baiken will drop. You can farm it on the side story. You can unlock it, limit break it, get it to plus 30. Is Portrait of Saviors. It gives you 20. It's a 4-star artifact. Gives you 20% if they're above 50% health, which is 4% stronger than Tonfa, and it's completely free. You can put it on her. But if you want to put that on a more important unit for PvP, then you can use Exorcism Tonfa. It's all the same. You just need enough to one-shot the first wave and do a little bit of work on the second wave. That's really her role. Substitute units. A good substitute unit to Vivian, I would say, is Charles. I don't have him built. It will probably take me like a few more months to make him built. The reason he is good, he kind of acts the same way as Vivian, but he's a little bit more straightforward. You don't need him to be faster, but ideally you want to. You actually would want him to be still slower than Tieria. Reason being is that you still want the defense break on the second wave for his S2, because the S2 chunks a little bit of the boss, and then After that, it makes Baikens easier, a lot easier. Pun intended. So with stats, the same as the prioritization is probably the same as Vivian. You just need a lot of damage, a lot of attack, as much 85% crit chance if you're just gonna use him there. Effective, not as important. However, there is a downside to Charles. He does not offer immunity. And on the first wave, if you are slower than the mobs, because you wanna do a slow approach, just do the combo with as much attack stats. The Banshee mob, or rather the Misty Chain at the very first wave, can apply Weaken. And when your Charles gets weakened, some runs, he will not be able to one-shot. So Vivian is still the best in slot, but he's a very good substitute. And now, for the crux of the video, it's basically Baiken. Now, people will say that, oh, that's a lot of I-90 gear. That's a rage set. Those are hard to get. That is very true. I only actually ever have one rage set in my account, and I've been playing for 3 years because nobody really farms that hunt excessively. People want it for the immunity and normally just ignore the rage set. But however, the stronger your other 2 units is, you can get away with the destruction. As you can see in the video, in early part of the video, I didn't really need the bleed explosion. That's extra damage right there. The extra damage that's probably coming from the rage set. So destruction is a good substitute. For the stat prioritization, with Baiken, the most important thing, especially if you're using Daydream Joker, is crit damage. You can get away with less attack, but crit damage values are very important. That is why a good substitute is destruction. Again, with crit, you don't need 100 unless you're gonna use her outside of Banshee. She does not need 100. That is more stats that you can use outside of prioritizing crit and putting it on another stat. Maybe let's say more attack, more crit damage. Effectiveness, as much as you can get, but it's not a priority. There's a chance for you to get resisted anyway, no matter how hard you stat this. The most important thing is really the crit damage and securing your 85% crit chance. And as for artifacts, I would say that the best in slot is Daydream Joker. Good substitute that I've tried with this amount of stats is the artifact that nobody really uses for PvE, Victorious Flag. This lowers the damage you take, increases the damage you do when you're the advantage element. It works too. It's not as effective because the upscale on this is slightly lower than Daydream Joker because you hit twice. With 300% crit damage, basically you multiply Daydream Joker by 3, and that's 9% per hit, and she hits twice, so that's 18% just like that. For Victorious Flag, it's a few K. It's not really, it doesn't scale as high because the Banshee's health is really high, so the percentage that you get from the boost of Daydream Joker is a lot better than Victorious Flag. And yes, another one is again Symbol of Unity, but it's never gonna be as good as Daydream Joker. And yes, so those are the essentials. As much crit damage as you can, maybe less attack. If you do destruction, and the stronger your other 2 units are, the less you need. For example, on that on this video, I'm not even using 6-star Tieria. I'm using a 5-star. So if you got a 6-star, the less your Baiken needs. As for Tieria, on the news story right now, which was released as of the date of this video, you can now get a Midnight Bloom, and that's also a good substitute for her artifact. It means you need less crit to get to 85, less crit you need, more crit damage you can get, etc. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Hope you liked the video. If you need any help, you can always drop by on my Discord or visit me on Twitch. And I'm always gonna be happy to help any of you guys. So yes, bye bye. Thanks for watching.